Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Simon.
Thanks for coming on the podcast. And we have a lot of students that would love to know who you are and what you do now.
Thanks for having me. I'm very excited to be here. My name is Grace Bakuya. Currently, I work at Microsoft. My title is Partner Development Manager. So the job I do is I am responsible for partnership between Microsoft and Accenture. So I manage that partnership between the two companies. And I focus on M365 and Copilot work scope at Microsoft.
So what would you say would be the 2 to 3 challenges along the way that other people may relate to in terms of what you do for your job?
So I have many to share, but if I were to pick one that could be most relevant to a lot of people is, it's not necessarily related to my current job, but I've been working for over 25 years now, and I am a working mom. And today my kids are older, so they don't need me as much. My older one's 19, my younger one's 15, and he's about to be 16. As a working mom, I had a working mom guilt for a very, very long time. And I think a lot of parents do. And when my kids were young, they were both in daycare. So obviously I'm paying a lot of money. And not only that, I'm away from my kids for a very long period of time. So during that time, I'm constantly thinking, is this worth it? Is this worth staying away from my kids? And because of that mindset, I was very driven by money. So what I mean by that is obviously daycare is very expensive, but at the same time, I think I was trying to justify my job, justify my time away from kids. So my goal was to make more money every year. So anytime there was an opportunity for me to make more money next, I took that opportunity. So I think a lot of people are driven by money today. So I'm being very honest here. And when you're driven by money, and you can probably tell from my resume, you could kind of see that I jumped around quite a bit because I was hungry for that opportunity. So if you see my resume, I jumped like every 2 to 3 years when my kids were young. It looks like I have a commitment issue. And that kind of stopped when my kids were older. But I think because of that mindset, there were jobs that I took purely based on salary and the package. I may not have enjoyed the role, but I took it because I knew that would give me the opportunity to provide more for my family. So that's a lesson I learned. And I'm not saying that I have a perfect answer or advice here, but I think it's a struggle that a lot of people face. Whether you're a working parent or not, a lot of us are driven by money, and we do decide choosing the career path based on how much we make. And I think there are challenges that come along based on that choice, but it's a really big lesson I learned over the years.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, one, would love to know your skincare routine. I don't think a lot of people in the audience would say, 20 years? No way. And then also, it is a harsh reality, I feel like even culturally for us, is being part of a whole and understanding kind of the sacrifices, especially if it is monetary, understanding that it is used for other opportunities. And I know firsthand your kids are very happy. Extremely great soccer mom that I've known.
Oh, thank you.
So if you're talking to a college student, someone early in their career right now, trying to figure out their next move, what would you say?
Yeah, this question is very interesting because my daughter is in college. My son's in high school. He will be starting college in a couple of years, and then they will be going into workforce soon. And honestly, when I started my first job 25 years ago versus how they are going into job market is a very different comparison. And it's much more difficult today, right? And I think I have to mention AI here because it's a very hot topic. And while all of us, and most of us, I should say, embrace AI technology and enjoy what it offers, a lot of us are in fear that it's going to impact our job market. And it is true. It has already impacted a lot of jobs, and it's going to impact even more jobs in the near future. So I think a lot of the young college students and people starting their career, they're worried that AI is going to take over and get rid of their job potentials. One thing that I do want to share, and I do the same thing with my kids, is yes, you do have to keep up with technology, but at the same time, the core skill set you need to develop and polish throughout the years, that doesn't change. So I'm referring to communication skills, the way you write your email, the way you collaborate with people, how you talk, verbally, and then how you write, public speaking skills. These are very, very important skill set that you need regardless of industry, regardless of job you choose. A lot of us will be working in a team, and you will be talking to either your manager or your teammates, and having this core skill set, how you collaborate and how you communicate better, it's going to help you tremendously. And also problem solving skills that, will never go away. And you need this, your entire career. So I would say, don't be scared of AI. Continue to learn the technology that's out there, but at the same time, develop these core skills, communication skills, public speaking, as well as problem solving.
What skill, habit, or mindset helped you the most with your job?
So I've been working, majority of my career has been in sales. So I spent a lot of time talking to customers. And one skill set and habit that I created, and that actually paid me fairly well at the end, is that I treat every customer meeting like I'm going on a date. And this doesn't mean I'm going to date my customer, obviously. But as a girl, a lot of girls, when you go out on a date, you prepare, right? You want to make sure you're wearing the right outfit. You want to make sure your shoes are perfect, carry the matching purse. You want to make sure your hair's, perfect and you smell good. So these are all the preparation you do for going on a date. When I meet a customer, I do spend quite a bit of time preparing for that conversation because I want to have a productive meeting and I want to come out of that meeting with some action item and some results. So every meeting that I meet with the customer, I make sure I research the customer. So I'm spending time reading what the customer is about and, what the company does, the person's role. And I make sure to research their purchasing behavior and history with my company. So if I'm seller at Microsoft, I make sure that I look up customers' environment, exactly what license and technology they have purchased from Microsoft, what they have used and consumed from Microsoft, how much they spent with Microsoft. And a lot of these preparation really helps me to have a solid, deep conversation with customer quickly. And also, another habit I created is I'm not shy showing the customer that I have prepared. And this really helps well. Customers want to know that I care. So when I prepare something and when I tell my customer that I know something about the company, I'll make sure to comment and let the customer know that I've done my homework and I've done my research. And customers love it. They take that as, oh, Grace cares about my role. Grace cares about my company and she cares about the relationship with Microsoft and our organization. And I think that's a habit that I created over the years and really helped me to develop relationship with customers quicker.
I think that's great advice. And similar thing to say to the students, I would say, is you can try harder on your dates. I'm sure you're not preparing a PowerPoint presentation on every single one of the dates, but Grace does, and she uses AI to summarize all the financial statements to make sure that you know your customer. And I think that is a really big takeaway, especially professionally.
Preparation matters.
That's great. And let's move towards the problems. One question I really like to ask is, what's a problem you're trying to solve right now that the audience may be able to help with?
Oh, yeah. And maybe this is an area I need a fresh idea and get help from other people. So as you age, which I'm dealing with, it is difficult to learn and it's difficult to digest quickly and adopt quickly. But nowadays things are moving very fast. Technology changes, and even the solution that we offer at Microsoft evolving constantly. It's always improving. It's always meeting the customer's demands. Because of the customer demand being so high, and product evolving all the time, I need to learn constantly, right? And I know everyone's in the same challenge, but sometimes I struggle because things are coming at me so fast, and then there's only a certain amount I can digest and learn. So at my age, it's not like I've been in classes and doing all these exams and papers. So like my learning rate is a little different today. But I wish to be more agile and quickly learn and capture what's coming. And not only learn, but I need to be able to translate this with my own words and communicate with my partner that I manage. So that's the current challenge that I'm facing daily.
So I'm emphasizing this for the students that are going to reach out to you. Please at least reference this to help her out. This.
Thank you.
The fun question I always like to ask everybody is, what's the best purchase or gift that was $100 or less that's brought you the most happiness?
Yeah, I love the question. I'm a girly girl, so I like anything girly gifts, whether it's scented lotion, candle. I love socks. But most recently, the best gift I received was a lunch. It was my old teammate. She reached out to me and we had lunch. And I'm not referring to free lunch. She paid for me. I'm referring to the time. Time doesn't cost. And she did pay for lunch, by the way. But when people reach out to me offering to have lunch or wanting to have coffee with me, I love that. And I take that as a gift because they're giving me their valuable time. And you can put a price tag on that. I love it. I love the connection. I love the bonding. We talked about work. We talked about life, what we want to do next year. And it reminds me that I'm a human being and that the people connection is really important. And I cherish those gifts.
Yeah. What was the lunch, by the way?
Chinese food.
Oh, okay. Great.
The noodle and dumplings.
Oh, nearby the office?
Yes.
Oh, sweet. Okay. So we always have the previous guest ask the next guest a specific question. And his question to you was, you have 1 minute with your 10-year-old self. What would you say?
10-year-old self. So when I was 10, I was born and raised in Korea until I was 10. And then that's the age I moved to Japan. And when you move to a country where you don't know the language and the culture, although there are a lot of similarities in their cultures, you lose a lot of confidence and you feel very lonely and alone. So my 10-year-old self, I didn't have a lot of confidence and my self-esteem was very low. I felt very disconnected and detached from the world because of the move that I've gone through. So I would tell myself to have confidence. You're doing good. You're enough. You have all you need and you don't need more. Because I think I needed to hear that at that time.
Yeah. So with the next guest, what would your question be?
My question is, what is the worst job you've had and what did you learn from it?
Great question. I'm curious to see who the next guest will be to answer that. All right, yeah.
I'll be so curious. I have to tune in just to check out the answer.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Grace.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you. You too, Simon.
Bye.